Hello and welcome to another video on doing stuff and filming it. This is part 2 of the chain and sprocket replacement on the Lifan King. If you missed part 1, the link to it is in the description. You're welcome to go and have a look at that first. I'll still be here when you get back. Excellent, you're back. And that is a really overdone trope, I apologise. One more thing before we get fully into part 2 of this particular repair. One of my favourite biking YouTube channels, Fort9, released a video talking about rev ranges on motorbikes, which is one of the big things I was talking about in part 1. He's not quite on the same track that I'm on, he doesn't talk about power curves, but it is the same sort of field, you know, why motorbike engines prefer higher revs to being kept at lower revs. So by all means go and give that a look. Naturally, he explains it far better than I did, so yeah, give that a look, but in the meantime, I'm going to crack on. Okay, right, cup of tea on the go. I've been reading through the instructions and I think I know what I'm doing, but what we'll do in a minute is just we'll take his time with it. We'll, do it a step at a time and we'll get it right. One of the things it does say to do in the Haynes manual, but not in the instructions that came with the actual tool, is you feed it over the rear sprocket first. Of course, at the moment the rear sprocket isn't there because the rear wheel isn't there. So, before I put all the wheel back on, it does give us a bit of an opportunity having it off. I want to do something with these drum brakes because they're not working properly, and do something with the wiring under the rear fender or mudguard, whatever you want to call it, because it's all sort of a bit loose. The wheel doesn't need to be off for me to do that, but it's certainly a lot easier to access it. I think there might be someone at the door. Alright, that's enough of that. What was I doing? Yes, so basically I want to try and lubricate this part, this arm that goes in here, because it should just spring back. Hopefully, bit of WD-40, work it loose, the job will be a good one. Let me go get some fresh gloves on, we'll do that. Alright, I'm hesitant to take this fully apart, partly because these springs will be an absolute penis to get back on once I remove them. We're not going to do that if I can avoid it. What I'm going to do is apply the brake like that. Oh, someone's fired up their ruddy lawnmower. Great. It does look like there used to be some grease in there. It's obviously just dried up. Alright. Being careful not to get it on the friction material of the actual brakes, of course. That's much better already. So you would apply it, and then you want it to snap back. But that's much better already. See, if this was working normally, I'd be able to let go of that and it just snap back, but like that, it doesn't seem quite able to achieve that. Indeed, that little spring just isn't quite strong enough. See what I mean? If I were to brake, and then, yeah, well, it's starting to do it, look. Alright, we'll let that penetrate and do its job. Penetrate. Let's get a bit more on first. That's certainly freeing off though, which is good. See, I'm trying to think how much I would actually move this lever were I braking, and I don't think it's that far. I think it's like there at the most. You picture I'm going along like that, I'm pulling on it. That is some pretty heavy braking right there, and it snaps back from that position, which is what we want. So what I'm thinking is let that dry a bit and let that grease penetrate, and we'll put some more permanent like finger grease on here, clean it all up so we're not contaminating our friction material. We've got a bit on, but that's not the end of the world. And then that'll be ready to go back on. Hopefully the weather holds as well. Now, I know you can't really see from there, but I can't really get the camera in any other angle. These wires, it's from where I changed these back indicators. They were just too long. Now I could snip them off to shorten them, but I'm just going to try and hide it first. Alright, okay. Look at that. There's an inner fender and an outer fender, and all the wiring sort of goes in between. So all I've done is... that looks a little worn. I think I shall just check that. I think that wire might be worn through. That's not good. I shall just double check that indicator's even working. Okay, right. That wire's obviously chafed on something, because this indicator doesn't work unless I fold this wire up. Well, that's wizard, isn't it? Alright. Well, that just means we'll just have to trim this wiring off anyway, won't we? Looks like it's been doing it to both. Alright, well, we'll just trim that wire off, reattach it to the block connector. Job's a good one. This isn't even the right screwdriver set. Feck. Hello. I'm sure there's going to be people on the internet now saying things like, "Oh, you've put WD-40 on your electrical, as soon as you indicate you're going to explode."
Start it! Yes! Spend all the ones on this factory!
No, I won't. I don't have a spare, so I'm just going to have to keep trying to undo this one. It's always a bit disconcerting when a massive spider comes out towards you. Oh, God, Hatcher. Jesus, animal. Oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do you have to climb on me? Can't you see I'm trying to make videos for YouTube? Alright, I'm pretty tired. Who's lie here? Oh! Don't stand on me neck. Right, get off. Alright, that's the wiring repaired and tidied up. I was planning on doing something with this chain guard whilst the wheel was off, but looking at it, these two bolts and it should come off. So I'm not going to delay the current job just to attempt that. Alright, let's go and check on the brakes, see if they've cleared up a bit. Well, considering I left this with the brake applied, when I went off to do my other stuff and it's now not, that seems like a good sign. That's much better. Yeah, even if you apply it really hard, it just snaps back. Lovely. Good, right, that's where it go back in the wheel then. I was going to try putting some finger grease on, but the WD-40 seems to have done the trick. It literally just snaps back into place, which is exactly what you want. No more binding brakes for Stuart. See, I'm really happy with how those brakes have freed up. That's a massive improvement. Right, slide the axle back on, shall we? There we go. That's a nice bit of rotation there as well though, look at that. Good to know we haven't broken anything. Right, next stage is the chain. Let's go and get it. Alright, here we go then. It's time to come together now. I've had an idea whilst I was going through all this as well. If I can find one that is reasonably priced and will actually do the job, a chain oiler. It's a bit old hat, you don't really see them on modern bikes. I guess they don't need them. This obviously doesn't come with one, but could be an interesting little project to put on. But yeah, we'll look into that later. So let's get this threaded through. I've given up on the gloves. Seems like every time I put a pair on, 5 minutes later I have a reason to take them off and then I need a new set. Right, so let's start. I'll start at this end. I perhaps should have removed this guard. Never mind. It's done now. Right. Come on, round you come. Oh, fucking hell. I've got shit all over my new chain already. I'll have to give this a clean once it's put together. Right. That appears to be fitting nicely onto that sprocket though. Look at that. How good is that? So, to get this little link apart, these are my little rivets. So I've got two plates in my rivets, and we've got the riveting tool. So get this apart. How am I getting that off? Why are they stuck together? Really? I need to separate these two little plates because they go either side of the chain. They're stuck together. Like really stuck together. So we can get the blade of this really fine screwdriver in. That is intensely annoying. There we go. Right, there we go, that is on. That's my soft link. Now we need to press those rivets. You wash my fucking hands again is what I need to do. So, I've already put this together, and I've put it together the wrong way round, as far as I can tell. I'm going to use the press plate instead. Right, we are just going to skip right through the bit of me trying to press the link into the chain, for the simple reason it took way too long. There's like 38, nearly 39 minutes worth of footage of me just laying on the ground struggling to get this done. It's harder than it looks, it's reasonably straightforward to do, at least after you've done it the first time. This is the first time that I've done this, but now that I've done it and I know how to do it, I could probably do it a lot better the next time. But it's really boring, I'm literally just lying there. If you want to watch it all, it'll all be in the slow TV version of this that I'll bring out sometime after this video's released. But yeah, we're just going to skip through it for the purposes of this, because, well, it's just far too long. If you want to know what happened, I basically had the wrong attachment on the tool, so I ended up snapping that off. So then I went to the correct one, but because it was working correctly, it was actually pressing the rivet in, and that was hard. Both my wrists were killing me by the end of it. I was putting so much force into twisting this rivet through. There must be an easier way. Maybe I need a higher quality tool for next time. Who knows? But yeah, finally got the rivet in, and then it felt like there was still some play in that joint more than all the other links in the chain, so I farted around with it. I wasn't too happy with how the rivet looked, you know, on the sort of mushroom head that you meant to put into it, but there was no play in it. It was pretty secure in there, so yeah, I was happy with it. Alright, next bit. Right, I can't feel any more play in it now than what I can in all these other links, so that will do. I need a break. Alright, had a bit of a break. I'm still not 100% happy with the rivet on the chain, but rather than keep playing with it, I'm just going to do the other bits and then come back to it. I'm not going to be able to test ride the bike anyway until this the plate for this has arrived. I do just want to get the chain on though, so I'm going to put that on there, like that, and I'll try and get the chain around it if I can, which I can't. I need to slacken this off. I was trying to do it how I used to put my old push bike chain on. You get one link on and then just rotate the cog. It doesn't want to work like that. So we'll slacken the adjusters all the way off. Come on you go. There we go. And he's on. Lovely. It's obviously still a bit slack because I haven't adjusted it, but it is on. That is what we like. Yeah, we'll use the old plate for now, and the reason being is I can always come back and do it up properly later, but this will allow me to do things like chain tension in the meantime. I'll give it, well, we'll call it a bench test, shall we? I'll basically just leave the bike on its centre stand and rev it up through the gears and see what happens. That'll do for now. See if we can spot the soft link that I put in. Oh, here it comes. It seems to be doing its job. Now that I see it going round, and in the context of the other rivets, it's actually not that bad. Alright, let's do chain tension. This is a job we've done before with the old chain. So let's do chain tension. Yeah, it's about all there is to do after that, except wait for this retaining plate to come. And then road test it. Yeah, okay, let's do that now. Alright, so, first things first, I suppose let's pull this back. Right guys and gals, for the sake of brevity, we're not going to look at me doing the chain tension again, for the simple reasoning that I've already done a video on adjusting the chain tension. So if you want to see me do that, just go back and watch the first video. I'll put a link to it on the screen now, and there'll also be a link in the description. So we're just going to skip over this bit and move on to the next stage of this repair. Right, I think we're ready for a test. Right, happy with that. One thing left now is we need to wait for that plate to arrive, retaining plate, but it looks okay so far. Just got to put the brakes back together, may as well do that now. Yeah, alright, let's do that. Right, and try not to get stung by nettles while I'm here as well, that would be nice. Okay, so same again. All I'm doing in this bit is reattaching and readjusting the rear brake on the bike. That's something else that I did in the other video, the chain tension and broken brakes, so it doesn't need to be included in this one. I'm just going to skip right past it. If you want to see how I did it, it's literally the exact same process as was in the other video, so we'll move straight on to the next bit. Right, so I thought for a moment there that I was losing the light. It turns out it's actually just about to rain, so I'm going to quickly screw that plate on and then go inside and wait patiently for the front sprocket retaining plate to arrive. Once that's on, I'm going for a test ride. Right, here we go. It's finally arrived. Well, actually it came a few days ago, but I've been working and I've finally got time to fit this. So we're going to bolt this on. I could tell pretty much as soon as it arrived that it looked so much better than the old one, so this should be a good fit. But yeah, get it bolted on, and then I think I'll let this hangover wear off a bit more before I go out for a ride. Oh dear me. So since the segment that you watched a few seconds ago, about a week has gone by. In that time I have nailed a new job, which is made me immensely happy. And I think I'm going to be so much happier, well, than I am in my current job. It's a fucking better be. But I also managed to remortgage the house. Well, not remortgage, switch deals in a much cheaper rate, so I'm not facing imminent financial ruin anymore. I actually managed to get a rate below the Bank of England base rate, because those unelected millionaires seem hell-bent on making everyone as poor as possible. Because that's an appropriate way to behave during a cost of living crisis, isn't it? And if you don't have a mortgage that's due to jump up in price by more than 50%, it's probably going to be hard for you to understand this, but the weight that was lifted off my shoulders by nailing that new rate, I've still got to do the paperwork on it, but they've offered it to me. The weight that was lifted off my shoulders was immense, and couple that with getting the job, yeah, it's been a pretty decent week for me. So yeah, me and my partner had a little bit too much to drink last night. Let's just put this into gear so this stops fucking rotating on me. Okay, it doesn't want to go into gear, whatever. There we go. I'll show you on camera. Yeah, you can see the difference. These little bits here are obviously worn. Not by much, but obviously enough to make a difference. Right, put this case back on. The little box I keep all my removed parts in, I've talked about those before. I just opened it to get this this one bolt out, and the old chain is still in there, and my god, it stinks. I don't know what's going on, but it fucking hums. That combination of burning and rotting. Also, I've just realised something a bit daft as well. Let's just take this back off. This cover came with new nuts. Why don't I fucking use them? These seem different. They've got a flared base. Are they even going to fit? Now that's an issue. They're interfering with the chain and lifting it up. Alright, we shan't use the new nuts then, or bolts or whatever the fuck they're called. That's not going anywhere. Chain tension is fine. Right, go and sort my life out and then we can go for a test ride. Right, well, I've just got back from the ride out. Well, about half an hour ago. I've been in, got changed, obviously, had a cup of tea. That has worked brilliantly. I am really happy with it. The chain noise is gone. The problems I was having with the power take-up, as in it was taking up the slack before the power was transmitted to the back wheel, gone. I was a little concerned about the condition of the tensioners. They seem to have done okay. I was trying to get this external microphone working along with my helmet as I was riding. Unfortunately, a couple of miles after I set off, the mount broke for the camera and nearly lost the thing down the road. So I don't have a way to mount the camera on the bike at the moment. It's yeah, it's shagged. I suppose that's what I get for spending £2 on eBay. The actual thing that came with the camera is fine, but it's the anti-vibration mount that's snapped. I'll show you. This thing. There should be two parts to it. One part is in pieces. It's snapped in two places on the two limbs, and the whole camera sort of flopped backwards and was just pointing up at the sky. Yeah, I thought I was gonna lose my expensive action camera, so I had to pull over, put it in the top box. But yeah, it's done exactly what I was hoping it would do. So we've gained lots of acceleration in the lower gears, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It really does pull. That was immediately evident to me when I first set off out of the driveway in first gear. The bike went, but I haven't lost any top speed from the bike either. That has stayed exactly the same. The difference is that I'm now using more revs in 5th gear, which means I can sustain that speed. Because what was happening before was I'd get it up to, say, 60 in 4th gear, absolutely revving the arse off it, changed from 4th to 5th, and it dropped down to 6,000. And it will now sit at 8,000 RPM doing 60-65 miles an hour, which is great. So yeah, I've gained acceleration, kept my top speed, possibly even gained some fuel efficiency as well, because to maintain a solid 60 mile an hour, I don't have to keep revving the arse off in 4th into 5th, slowly drop the speed away because I can't pull anymore, then rev the arse off it again. I'm just sitting cruising. It's great. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I did get stopped 3-4 times whilst I was out riding. I've been out for about 3 or 4 hours this afternoon. Check the soft link on the chain, so I was a little worried about it. Nope, that's working fine. The chain has kept its tension perfectly as well. The bike feels great, you know, it really pulls, and of course I'm going a lot faster than I was before. Yeah, I have a ride out in 2 weeks' time at the time of recording this. There's still a fair bit of work to do. It's going to be about 8 to 10 hours worth of riding. It's the biggest trip I've been on so far. I've got some saddlebags to go with it, a number of other stuff off eBay, and we've also, yeah, I want to give this a full service. So there's at least 2 videos worth there for you to look out for. So for now, yeah, we'll call this one it. It's long enough as it is. Thank you for watching. See you next time. One more thing. This sticker adds 10 horsepower, putting me on 11 horsepower. It also covers up a little bit of that rust. Thank you for watching this video on doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.